Again today, Arch Velah, how to fix hot water tank. What a nasty job this was. And we're gonna talk about how this little thing right down here, this box is very, I hear is junk. So if you get one of these water tanks, you might want to be careful with that when you need maintenance or any type of thing. But first off, I like to say, whenever you start a hot water tank job, you might want to shut off all main lines of gas, which my meter is up in the friggin' basement here, but you shut down your furnace, you shut down the gas main line on the gas there for the furnace, and you shut down the main line to the house. Well, you're gonna get a nice big breezy blown up gas in your face. As for piping, you want to try and salvage as much as you can, which in this case I got to salvage a lot of it, but I also had to remove some because there was too much. In my case, there's too many of these little elbows that are down here. And as you can see this piece here, and I think I got another elbow up on the steps from near my vise. But you definitely need this piece right here, which is called a union. That thing right there allows you to put pipes like this together into this. Because if you go to put a straight pipe into this and you're doing your righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, you're tightening here, over there it's loosening. So you need one of these. You always want to make sure. Now this is where I salvaged some pipe. As you can see, all I had to do was buy a new fitting there, which is a connector female fitting. There's another union, another fitting, and then it goes all the way up there to the, as you can see, mine connects straight into the furnace. So you want to always make sure, right, that them lines, the main gas line to house is always off. Other than that, right. What also you would need is a nice container of this, and you always want to make sure it's called Pro Dope. Dope. Bunch of dopes that worked on this furnace. Because I'll tell you, this piping right here ain't what it was when I took it apart. One thing you gotta make sure when you do buy another furnace, these boxes always ain't the same. And what screwed me up to this leading me to do all this and replacing it, this box on the old one was way down here. So yeah, it's a freaking mess. Now always remember that as soon as you shut down the main line in the house, when you unloosen these, you are gonna smell a little gas. Don't worry. It might set off some alarms, but it will go away eventually. Also, hopefully you never have to break down in the winter like I just did. What a bitch that was, because last night, because of all this piping, as you can see, was straight. Last night there was an elbow here, an elbow here, and the thing was sideways, and I put all this on it this is a sealant. That stuff you don't want to use, but I was trying to seal it, keep the gas in, but it didn't work because of the simple fact I did not have this piece. This piece was one straight pipe, which now is right here. This is the pipe that was here. And I had to use it over there to connect it up to there. But how that was, I did the thing of where I tighten it. I tried tighten it as much as I could over here. And then when I put it on here, it started loosening, of course, on this side. And I just had it enough to catch each way. So I figured I'd try putting that, but that don't work. Don't ever want to not have these pipes tightened fully. And you'll make sure you don't ever want to tighten them too much. But they need to be nice and snug, like I say with this stuff on it. It's called Pro Dope. Usually you don't need this big bottle, but I wanted to make sure I had enough because I didn't know what the hell this mess was going to lead me to. Now my son did the plumbing up top. I did all the gas work. He is trying to become a plumber. He is in shop for it, has now been it for 2 years. And he's got his next year, and then he graduates, but perfect opportunity to do a little training here with him, which was great. But there was things that he couldn't do that I had to do. I had all the muscle, and I'll tell you something, when these pipes freeze up, oh my God, you're gonna have a friggin' nightmare. Sometimes these pipes get very, very tight and don't want to loosen. And you always want to make sure you got 2 of these handy. I mean, I got lucky and I used one of these channel locks. But do not do that, because I had the muscle to do it. You want to use these on your piping at all times. And I mean, I use my channel locks with it, but you know, you don't want to do that, because if you strip it, or them things sometime have a tendency to open up when you're trying to squeeze them together. The bolt in it gets loose. I've had that happen and it sucks, but literally you need one of these too. And what I did is if make sure you have one also that is long. Just if it can't reach and you can't get into there and you need a short one, have one too also. But if you need a long one, and if it's way too long, you can always use one of these as a breaker bar. Always want leverage when you're trying to break this thing easily. You want to easily, when you're doing this, you want to easily move it. You don't want to jerk it and tug it and rip it out. You want to easily work your way from loosening that pipe, so you don't have no problems or even breaking a pipe or a fitting, because they are black steel and you always need to remember to use black steel. I'll be right back. Yes, it sucks that this thing, when you go to put this all up together, the wifey's having a fit because the water ain't hot yet, but gotta realize this thing takes time to heat up. Because it's gotta, once you get the piping in from the plumbing of the water, you gotta open up them valves. You let this sucker fill up. And always make sure, like I was just saying, use black pipe always for gas. Never use any substitute. Make sure you know that. Everything is, when you go to a hardware store and you're doing a thing like this, you want your, they have you in the right area at all times. They have their galvanized steel, they have their black pipe, they have their copper. It's all lined up so you don't get confused. These pipes are usually a 1/2 inch. So when you need a 1/2 inch pipe, of course you go in there looking 1/2 inch. When you need that 1/2 inch union, you gotta look up 1/2 inch. So the pipes will fit in, and even your the little things there, the connector, the female connectors, them are 1/2 inch. So everything usually standard is a 1/2 inch, even on the piping of the copper. So literally when you get to the old water heater, as you can see here, you take these off. If you can salvage anything, make sure you do so, or you're going to be coming into some big bucks. And what you will need for that, you need your solder and wire. Make sure you have plenty of that. You need your flux for the soldering. This is a small tub. I didn't need a real big, but they have various sizes, just like that other bottle I showed you. Like I said, there's your, and you need your tape. Now this looks like bandage tape, but it's plumber's waterproof tape. You need that for when you go to put on back the copper to thread your pipes. No leaks. Always remember also that you don't want to tighten these too tight either. And another thing that happened, the size of this friggin' water tank was a little bit higher than the other one. So ended up having to cut some pipes like right here, but they have fittings that you can put in your solder that there, and you would also need, will also need one of these to heat up your soldering and your soldering for the solder wire for the copper. Nice small tank like this. These days you don't need the ones back in the day. You take the handle thing and you spark it, the sparker. Today they got the ones you just turn the knob on, you get that sucker open, it'll explanatory tell you in your directions how to set this knob open, pop it a couple times, it flex, comes on, then you gotta set your flame. Let me see, get that open. So you open it like this, pop it, which I think I might be almost out of it. Oh, there it is. And as you can see, you don't want your flame, that blue flame in the bottom. You don't want that stuff too hot. So bear with me, I gotta put the phone down. So I got this wide open, and that's not how you want it. See how tall that dark blue flame is. You literally want to get it low, and if you do things by ear, listen to the how high it was a second ago, and then it goes, and you got the drop-in sound of how low it is. So that right there, you want to keep this as low as possible so it almost goes out, but it don't. I can't turn it with my thumb, but oh, there it is. You don't have to hold on to the button. I'm surprised I didn't blow up my face. So you want it at least here for all soldering, so it's not too high and hot, just let alone good and nice blue size. Shut that off. And that would, like I said, be for all your soldering needs. And right here we had to cut to into put that in, right there, the connector, because it was too long coming out. And that one we had to cut because it was too far down. The pipe came too far down and wouldn't connect to this pipe. So in between stuff, put your solder there, you put your heat on that, and you watch the solder fall right in smoothly with the cracks. If you see bubbles or any kinds of stuff, or even have bent copper, you're not going to be able to use it. But as you can see how fine that line is right there, just make sure your line looks just like that, or it's going to leak. It's got to look that fine all the way around. Top, bottom, whatever you cut out, whatever you make. This was a sloppy job done by the friggin' person before us, but that's a mess. As you can see, it fell all over the place, but the line is intact. But if you want it to look good or whatnot, that's what it's supposed to look like. But hey, if you're doing this yourself, we're not here to, oh, it looks like a mess. We're here just to get your damn water tank back on. And yeah, you have to have this valve here for this. You gotta have this cover here for that. You gotta make sure this is all connected. Your old one should. And as you can see, I didn't put on the new hat for that yet. It's over there. And this one was just thrown on like this. So the other plumber did that. I don't know why. So yeah, I could just imagine the half-ass job he did down here with all this. He had it going over here, up there, Instead of doing this, he had like one elbow. I used 2 elbows. Oh no. I took all the elbows off. And dummy, I could have used them. Whatever. What a dipstick. There was too many elbows on it anyways. One there. What do I got over here? 2 extra elbows. I should have friggin' used them. I wasn't even thinking of that because I got so pissed off last night because Last night, to tell you the truth, there was no heat in the house because of this mix up over here. All this mess led me to have the heat off.
Around and back.
And that just literally screwed us up, and I had to leave the heat off for one night. And oh man, last night was like below. Other than that, getting that thing piece off from here, I can tell you right now, when it's old, it don't matter. When you try to, unscrew that, mine was very, very tight. So I ended up breaking off, but who cares? This thing does still have water in it. Excuse me, but if you get a hose on it, which I'm going to muscle this thing out with a dolly, but if you can't do it, you put a hose on it there, which is going to suck for me, because if I was to do it, that's why I got to muscle it out with a dolly. I'd have to go up a friggin' flight of stairs, and that's not good. So, yeah, I'm going to be muscling this all with a dolly, so. Other than that, if you can salvage this, do so. If you can well, yeah, this piece right here. If it's not broken or not, don't throw this away, salvage it. And you can get some money for this, even if you know how to sell it. Uh-oh. And you don't want to do that. Yeah, I forgot that's why I wasn't taking off. I got pee-pee on the floor. You pee-peed on my floor. Oh, alright. But anyways, once you get that all out, make sure you take that and salvage it. But mainly all you need, right, like I said, is the torch. Oh yeah, one of these. If you need to cut anything, mine's broke. I went and bought this. Stay away from these. This thing cut 2 friggin' pipes and then wouldn't cut no more. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I gotta put this all back together, get my money back. And my son went off, tried to put that damn piece on this one. As you can see, it's too friggin' big. But always make sure you have one of these too. It's called a pipe cutter. You got your blade there. It rolls with this on the pipe. You tighten it like so. And when you do happen to have to cut a pipe, only twist it enough tighten with this, and then spin it a couple times, then twist it again. Don't tighten it and expect it to cut right away. It's called, you gotta twist 2-3 times, turn. Twist 2-3 times, turn. And eventually this piece will cut that whole copper pipe right off. But other than that, you need your flux, you need your solder, your flux. Easy stuff. Shut the main gas off, everything. And then you make sure that fills up with water. And you're set to go. That's even easy to do. You leave that in the off position when you're hooking everything up. Once you turn it on, you turn it down to pilot, push that button in, click this little black button underneath a couple times. Right there, pop, pop, pop. Should instantly light up. You pull this thing squeezes off. You ain't got no screws. Pull it off, look in the window, you should see a nice blue flame. Other than that, that's how you put in a water heater. Very easy. Very easy. Till that next video, this is velah. How to do a water tank. Do it yourself, damn it. Save yourself $400 or $500. Ha ha! Out.